Hello, everyone. It's Charlene Lee, and today I'm going to be talking about how to have the perfect day. And so, why am I talking about having the perfect day? Well, again, we wake up every morning with the potential of making every day absolutely fantastic, no matter what happens to us. And at the end of the day, what happens is you only have that one day, and especially as a leader, the way you approach that day, thinking about it has a huge impact not only about yourself, but for the people around you, your family, your friends, your community, your coworkers, your colleagues. And so, what if you could make every single day a perfect day, a fantastic day, the best day of our lives? And we approached every day that way. How could our lives be really different? Because in the end, our lives are just made up of a series of days. We don't have yesterday, we don't have tomorrow to think about, just where we are today. So, how are we going to make that the most perfect day ever that you could ever imagine? So, today I'm going to be talking a little bit about how do we do this. And in particular, I would love for you to share just where are you in terms of thinking about your perfect day? So, describe your perfect day. I would love for you to just share what that looks like, share where you're coming from also, and maybe the end of your day there, wherever you are. But I would love for you to share and describe what your perfect day looks like. And the reason I think this is such an important thing is that unless we can picture what a great day, what a perfect day looks like, then how can we begin living it? And how do we start creating that for ourselves and for the other people in our lives? And let me just take a second to talk about the word perfect, because that word really irritates me. It's crazy to think that there could be one single definition of what a perfect day could look like. That this could be ideal. That there's one ideal, and it just felt really short-sighted and very limiting. That word. So I started asking people, because I kept seeing this coming up as an icebreaker. Describe your perfect day, and it just felt like to me, how could that be possible? So I just started asking people, so what would the perfect day look like? And it typically involved waking up with somebody in your life and having a beautiful day, breakfast, some sort of activity, and having along the way a gathering with friends, and then also just some new exciting things that you can try. So the and I think one person described it as being able to go surfing in the morning and go skiing in the afternoon. Obviously, this person lives in California. And I went, wow, that is in so many ways a fun and fantastic way to be thinking about things. So, and the thing that I think is so interesting is when I first started thinking about this, what would my perfect day look like? And Jay has kindly shared. He says a series of events, actions, reactions might distinguish good from perfect. And so, what's a good day versus a perfect day? Jay is asking. So, if we could just aim for having a good day, what would it look like? Well, when I started thinking about this, there's no right answer. There's no way that I could plan to have a perfect day, because inevitably the plans just don't work out. And I was thinking, how could I actually have just a perfect day, a great day, even when the day is just going terribly? How could it still be just a fantastic day? So Jane has a great example here. I wake up on my boat. I love that idea with the sun peeking in. Start with exercise outside, some coffee, good engagements with people that make me think, where I can bring value, connecting with friends in person, then sailing on my boat. Jane, I want to join you on that perfect day. Love the idea of being on a boat, on the water, in nature, and then being with friends, the people that are important to us. And what the thing that came across to me, things like what Jay was saying, what Jane were sharing about what makes a great day, is that in the end, it's about your purpose and your values, things that align with things that are important to you. And when you have had a day where you are fully living in your purpose and your values, then that is not just a good day, a great day, it's a perfect day. So if we can look at things through that frame, it becomes even more important to put the things that are important to you, your values, your vision, your purpose, at the center of everything that you do every single day. So do we wake up every single day thinking, how am I going to fully live my purpose and values? Because if we do, if we plan to do that, we do everything during the day to live that, then we will have had a great, perfect day. So that's why I keep coming back to this. Um, the idea is that when we actually live our purpose and our values, that is something, and we talk about this all the time, but all too often I see leaders who talk about purpose and values, and it's a saying that sits on their wall. It's not something they truly live. And so I put into context here the idea of having a perfect day is living your purpose and values and truly feeling really focused on that. So, purpose is so important because it means that I have an intentional focus. I'm taking strategic shots in the right direction. I'm making choices of what to do and what not to do to achieve my purpose. And and that sense of purpose also helps us when the day is not going that well, when obstacles are in our way, to keep us focused on what we're trying to achieve. And it allows us to come back to our why. And it allows us to, again, constantly re inspire ourselves and the people around us to keep going. And values, well, they're the things that give us joy. When we are living our values, we're out in that boat, when we're taking these actions, then that's the beautiful way to be thinking about this. So Sanjay has this really great point that except every day is the last day of life. If it was, if this was the actual last day you could have on this earth, how would you want to live it? And it's maybe not dropping everything and going off and doing some crazy adventure. But this thought, Sanjay writes, is itself motivates to love life and do the best for the day. And M. Morgan says, waking up with someone definitely the best way to start, and then go on to make a difference in the world in some positive way, no matter how large or small. Thank you so much for that. Uh, and the key thing here is that when we think about that perfect day, it could be an absolutely terrible day, and it could still be absolutely fantastic. So, Olatemele, I'm going to get your name right at some point. Would love for you to just share with me how the right way to pronounce your name is. Is he says, be positive and courageous to face everyday activities. I believe this positive attitude would make a perfect day. So I think in many ways, this is why I wanted to explain and give an example of this. This positive attitude makes such a difference. And I'll share a day that started out being a terrible day. As some of you know, I recently went to Burning Man. And this year, the weather was really bad some days. And one day, it was just terrible sandstorms and dust storms all day long and into the evening. And my friend Kevin and I decided, let's go out. Let's just go and brave the elements. And we get to the very edge of the city, about to go into the big open space, and realize that's way too much storm. That's just going to be way too miserable to be out there. And we could have had a choice to just like go back and be grumpy back into our RV and close the doors and huddle. And we decided, let's make the best of this. Let's go around the city, which is a little bit more protected, and see what we can find. So we started biking along, and the storm got even worse. So we're like, okay, now it's time to take shelter. So we saw this little tent with a couch on it. So we said, let's just wait this out, and sit on this couch, and just talk with each other, and just catch up, and download all the things that have been happening in our lives and out on Burning Man. And we just sat there and like, let's make the best of this. And what happened was, instead of us having to go out into the playa and see all the amazing things there, it felt like the playa came to us. And a wedding showed up, and we helped them celebrate. We were holding their lights and taking pictures and being in the pictures. Another example was a couple stumbled out of the storm and just collapsed on the sofa, so relieved to be out of it. And we were just helping them just get settled and get centered again, just recover from the turmoil, and thinking, it was a good thing we didn't go out. And during this whole time, a gazillion people went by, all brightly lit up, because it was by that time nighttime, and beautiful cars came by, and it just felt like it was a fantastic, beautiful evening that we spent. And it was because of the way that we lived our values at that point, that we weren't going to let a simple dust storm get in the way of us having a fun and exciting time, and enjoying each other's presence. So by living our values in this way, the two of us, we experienced a beautiful, perfect evening. And that's what I really want to talk about today is how do we actually do this on a consistent basis? How do we think about how to have that perfect day? So I'm going to give you three tips and examples of ways to do this. The first one is to define your perfect day. And one of the things I did some research on is what is it that leads us to have great days, to be happy? There's a lot of research into what happiness looks like. And there are three levels of happiness. One is when you just have a lot of fun and pleasure, you get gratification. A lot of the things that we think about in perfect days, the way we describe them, for example, being on the boat, certain activities that we do, the people we're around, those are that first level of happiness. And there's a lot of research that says that spending 6 to 7 hours a day with friends or family is a core requirement for happiness. Having at least 10 friends that you keep in touch with, making a certain amount of money is a key criteria. And it's usually around 75, $100,000 a year. Being appreciated, especially at work, and being recognized, verbal appreciations, rewards, praise, giving you perks and bonuses. Those little things, again, bring pleasure and gratifications, base level of ways to have a really good, perfect day. And think about how you can contribute to that as a leader. How often are we giving, again, appreciations and gratitudes to the people around us? The second level is when we are living in our strengths and living in the places where we can exercise our talents and have an impact on them. I've done a lot of work and live streams and writing around strengths. And so you can go back and take a look at those. But when we feel like we are humming at that really high level, performing at that high level, contributing, not just receiving, but contributing our strengths and our virtues, then that leads to another level of happiness and a feeling that it's a great day, perfect day. And the third level is of meaning and purpose. Again, going back to those purpose and values, when you feel like you are attaining those areas. Again, think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, base level of safety, levels of pleasure and gratifications, and higher level of attainments that you can have. So when you define your perfect day in this way, think of it not as, very specific things you have to have, but I would encourage you to make little movie vignettes, like play in your mind ideas and things that you are doing that would help you achieve these things that are really important to you. Like little vignettes, and then you will recognize them as you are living them. And then you'll think, well, wow, this is a really good day. So when you think about the kind of life you want to have, of all these days being strung together, you can actually design it for yourself. And designing it, imagining it, manifesting it is one of the first ways to create that perfect day, is to simply define what that day looks like. So I just have a couple. There's a lot of comments here, so I want to get through a couple of those. Rena has this great point. Any day that gives you a feeling of gratitude or a sound sleep is perfect. And so I do feel like at the end of the day, when you just feel so grateful and you so appreciate the day that you had and you can sleep soundly, it's a great day. I would also add to the list of happiness and perfection, a good night's sleep, something that I've been working on quite a bit. And Sanjay has this great point. Nothing is perfect in real life. Mindfulness practice and empathy and resilience enables me every day, ensures that every day is a happy day. That's a great day. And Jay just simply says flow. Just have flow throughout the day. So I love that. This is the second thing I would say is this, that the second way to have a great day, a perfect day, is to surround yourself with people. Surround yourself with people who can help you have that perfect day and who are also, if you can engineer this, hold you accountable to you living your purpose and values, because they understand that when you do that, because we all slip, we get distracted, we get into a funk and maybe doing things that aren't necessarily helping us have that perfect day. They can remind you about what's really important and help you have that focus on your purpose and values and therefore live your perfect day. Because in the end, you are the sum of the people that you spend time with, for better or for worse. So pick who you want to spend time with. And that I heard this one thing. It's not cool to be hanging out with people who aren't helping you or who are bringing you down, who are toxic. This person said, it's not cool if you feel hungover after meeting someone. And that's absolutely true. You just want to minimize those opportunities. So here's a question. Open up your calendar. Take a look at your calendar and look at the meetings that you have for work, for your personal life, the gatherings you go to, the meetings you have spent, the people you are spending time with. Are all of these people, all of these meetings, these gatherings helping you achieve your purpose and the values? Are they moving you forward? Are they lifting you up? Are these the people you want to be around? And if they're not, then really think long and hard. Do you want to be spending time with these people? And that could be a really important question if a lot of these people are in your workplace and they're in your family. So how do you need to change those relationships for the better in order to have people they lift you up and you lifting them up too as well? So so much of the day is dictated by the people you spend time with. So spend as much of your time with the people who are going to help you live your purpose and values. The third thing I would say, the first one is define your perfect day. The second one is fill it with people who are going to help you achieve that. The third one is to look at the actual activities and make sure you're aligning them with your purpose and values and not some, again, ideal of perfection. So, one of the biggest examples of this is when we substitute imaginary wins for real outcomes. And imaginary wins are things like, and this has just happened this past week, it was Zero Inbox Day. I don't know if you saw some of these things happening around. I have been a huge fan of Zero Inbox and I almost never achieve it. But it's an aspirational thing. I want to get through my inbox, process it, and be done with it. Um, but Zero Inbox can make you feel really good. But that's an imaginary win because does it really move you forward towards your goal? I know some people spend so much time clearing their inbox, they actually have no time left for doing the work that's really meaningful for them. So, which is more important, hitting zero inbox or doing the work that's really going to move you forward in you achieving your purpose? So, knowing exactly what that is, then you can start auditing what is it that you do. So, one of the things I often do is an activity audit and time audit. I'll keep track and journal literally every time I begin a new activity, what time I'm doing, and then when I finish with it. And then also at the end of that, how I felt. How do I feel about having done that? Just whatever emotion that comes with it. And I log that in my journal. Log the time again for the next activity, how I'm feeling when I'm starting it, anxious, excited, like I don't want to do this, but I know I have to. Just logging that. And then at the end of the day, I go through and look at my activities and go, did these activities match with what I wanted to achieve for the day? And really audit the activities. How did they move you forward? Really, how did they help you achieve your goals? Did you achieve them for that day? And it's such a great thing because I know some of us, me included, can get so enamored with our to-do lists that we lose sight of the bigger picture of what we are trying to achieve for that day, for that week, month, quarter, year, for our lives. So that's a key thing because what's one of the ways to be the three ways that I talked about, again, defining your perfect day, surrounding yourself with people to help you achieve that, to hold you accountable for your purpose and values. And the third thing is to really look at activities, aim for real outcomes versus these imaginary wins. A couple more comments here. We have Joe, nice long comment here. Thank you, Joe, for taking the time to write this. Sometimes a perfect day can entail too many components, thus making it unattainable. That's a good point. If you keep it simple with 2 or 3 denominators of a pretty good day, creates momentum and sets us on a trajectory towards a great or perfect day. For me, a morning run at sunrise with a good audiobook, take time to cook a great meal, that would probably qualify as a perfect day. Joe, I love how you break it down into some simple components. That if we have these things, these couple of things in our day, we can look back at it and say, that was a great day. That was a perfect day. So that's what I have for today because it's a pretty simple idea, but it's a really complex one because it forces us to really take into consideration what's really important to us. How would we actually construct our days instead of having the default happen to us? When we are intentional and conscious and present to the day that we are having, we can then turn it around to be a fantastic day, to be that perfect day, no matter what kind of circumstances come at you. So my hope and my uh, employment to you is to really think about what does it mean to have a perfect day, because it's your day, not somebody else's. And especially because we as leaders have such a huge impact on people's days around us. Really understand what are the things that are important to them. See them, know them, understand how would they define what their perfect day is. And I guarantee you, usually requires that it could be such a simple thing that we we say hello to people, we say them, and oh, Sanjay, perfect comment here at the perfect time. Just greet the people with a smile. Always have a positive intent for people surrounding us. That's such a well put way, Sanjay. Thank you so much for that. It's really thinking about what kind of impact can we have to enable people around us to have that perfect day, to help them achieve their purpose and values. And I can tell you one of the best things that I love about the work I do is that I feel like I am aligned with the people I am at work with. We have similar purpose, we have similar values. And after a meeting with my colleagues, I just feel so lucky. And I tell them, I'm just feeling awesome. This has been a great meeting. I so appreciate you. And one of them turned to me the other day, just yesterday, and she said, "This is the cheerleading moment we have at the end of every meeting. This is awesome. I love it." And I'm like, "I love it too," because we never stop appreciating just how wonderful it is to work with each other. And that makes a difference. It makes us feel really good as leaders, as participants in this experience. And it just feeds that innate need from us, from each other to be seen, to be recognized, to be appreciated, to know that we had made a difference in the world in some small way. So I encourage you to think about how you can have a perfect day for yourselves, how you can help other people have just amazing perfect days. And I wish you a fantastic series of perfect days until we meet again. And that will be next week on Tuesday, the 18th, again at the regular time. And we'll be discussing some new research that we just put out at PA Consulting. It'll be about how to innovate for growth, and in particular, breakthrough growth. We'll be talking about a very unique group of people that we found called the Breakthrough Brigade. And we'll talk about it for 2 weeks. Next week, we'll give you some of the statistics. And the week after, on the 25th, we'll be talking about some of the best practices and two of my favorite ones. So thank you so much for joining today. I really appreciate you all being here. You are the ones, the people watching, all of you who make this such a joy. So I just want to really appreciate all the time and effort, and especially for those people who commented. I really appreciate you being here. All right, take care, and we will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.